Okay, hello, I'm Ramia Jamal, lecturer at the Catholic University in Erbil in the Department of International Relations. I have a master's degree in international relations from University of Milan, and in this session, in this series of sessions, I'm going to talk about the Middle East, the conflict in the Middle East, ethnic conflict, nationalism, what is the Middle East, what does that mean, what is its definition, where is the area, what are the causes of behind instability in Iraq, with a focus on the origins of the modern states in the Middle East, and of course with a focus on the Kurdistan region of Iraq too. And in this session, I'm going to talk about Middle East and it is related conflict. So what does the Middle East mean? Let's realize it. Where is the area, and what does that imply? No other region in the underworld presents such a picture of the Middle East. So it's unique in terms of it is location and the conflict, and of course the ethnic conflict is related. It's the birthplace of the three most important religions in the world: Christianity, Islam, as well as Judaism. It's very rich in oil, huge oil reserves, and one of the most valuable regions of the world, because there are also other valuable natural resources. It has been a constant place for historical conflicts between the Arab countries and Israel, between Iraq and Iran, between conservative and radical regimes, the Gulf War allies as well, the oil and non-oil states as well. So that's the picture of the Middle East. Another definition can be that it's a region surrounded by the Mediterranean Sea, the Black Sea, the Caspian Sea, the Red Sea, and the Persian Gulf as well. Turkey to the northwest, Iran to the east, Egypt and northern Sudan to the west as well. So there are many definitions for it. Another broader definition can be that it's a region that once belonged to the great Arab, Persian and Islamic Turkestan empires, and the great major cities of it are Samarkand, Bukhara, Baghdad, Cairo, or Isfahan in Iran. So the Middle East is very old. It's actually the cradle of human civilization. The first ever human civilization appeared in the Middle East due to its rich territory for agriculture, for example. Some questions and concerns to be discussed are the 1980s and 1990s saw some developments. We know that 1980s witnessed the rise of liberalism, and 1990s was the post-communist world. It was the post-Soviet Union world. It was a new world order, the unipolar world, and all hope that we're going to have a one unique globalized world, and there will be peace, and hopes were that the region will be a peaceful region, but actually it did not appear. So the question can be, could the region be an economically prosperous region, democratizing like most of the regions of the world? Because the problem that we have is its slow economic growth, its insufficient markets, and its closeness for free trade as well, unlike the other parts of the world, unlike the Western world. Will the region remain exceptional, plagued by violent conflicts, so slow growth, relative isolation, and closed and insufficient economies? Because these are the major problems that we have in the Middle East. How can the Middle East join the global trend of regional cooperation? Join the EU, join the politics and the free trade, let's say, in the parts of the world, the Western world in general, including North America, Africa, South Asia, for example. What role can democratic and open regimes with fewer conflicts between states, or what might be called like-minded states, play in promoting cooperation in the region? Because we are having some common open regimes or open-minded regimes in the Middle East, such as Israel, such as Turkey, such as Egypt, to name a few. We have issues and obstacles in the region as well. It faces a number of important problems that seem to run counter to the general trends in global economic and international political developments. The Orient appears to be an exception to the general trend of peaceful cooperation, economic liberalization as well, because the economy is primarily non-liberal. The region mostly has military regimes. It has one-party political rules as well that are huge obstacles to economic liberalization, to relative democratization in the world as well. Alternatively, the region is plagued with war, conflicts, insufficient protected markets, and often authoritarian and military regimes like I indicated. And the armed conflict have taken heavy toll in both human and economic terms. For example, as a result of the conflicts between 1948 to 1992, 13.6 million people were displaced and 1.85 million people died, only between the years 1948 to 1992. And of course, all this include the Iraq-Iran war, the Arab states, the Arab-Israel war, and the other wars as well. Because just like we explained it, we are having different conflicts. And of course, there are high military expenditures. The Middle East governments have spent an average of $100 billion annually on arms over the past 2 decades. It's the first region that spends the hugest amount of money on buying weapons. There are 3 exceptional features of the Middle East that's very, very rich for oil, abundant oil, low rainfall as well, because a major obstacle that we have in the Middle East is the drought, the low rainfall that's appearing to be a problem. And Iraq, for example, is one of those countries that's prone to a huge threat of drought, to low rainfall, and of course rapid population growth as well, because the region has dramatic population growth, and there must be planning for the population growth, for example, in terms of employment and housing. These 3 facts set the region apart from everywhere else in the world. And of course, the oil is limited. Iraq, for example, has 110 years only, while Iran has 69 years of remaining reserves at current rates, which means that the Middle East does not have to depend on oil only. Why we are talking about it? Because the regimes in the Middle East mostly depend on oil. It's not a region where, just like Europe, depends on industrial products, but it mostly depends on oil. And of course, oil is limited. The region is in sharp contrast to the overall positive rate in world economy, which averaged about 3.9% in 1996. Water and population growth remain serious regional problems because this has become a problem between some regions. For example, Syria, Turkey, and Iraq dispute over the Euphrates and Tigris basin. Israel and Jordan, from another perspective, have similar dispute over the use of the Jordan River. So water can be a problem in the future in the Middle East. And of course, this can be a problem for everywhere in the world. For example, now we have migrants from Syria, from Iraq, from Afghanistan, from Yemen, from other parts of Asia coming to Europe, which is now more stable than those regions, and they can be a threat for the countries in Europe. So whatever, we are living in a globalizing world. We are living in one village world. Whatever goes on in the Middle East will definitely have cultural, economic, and political impact in the regions as well. And that's why this is a problem, and solutions have to be found for that. How to achieve regional relations in the Middle East? It's advised that so as to solve the problems in the Middle East, we don't just have to depend on the regional and international factors. For example, the United States saying that, well, we are there and we are solving the problems, but rather it's advised that we have to have understandings for the conflict and cooperation in the Middle East. For example, we need to know that without the economic and social support of the groups, religious groups, the party groups, the tribes that have existence in the Middle East, we cannot solve the problems because they are the ones that have value, and they are the ones that have role to solve the problems. It also suggests that coordination between more open regimes such as Israel, Jordan, Egypt, Palestine, and Turkey can play roles so as to solve the problems. And thank you.